Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Kwak here, one of the Kwak brothers with the EIDL Loan Program, as well as the EIDL free $10,000 grant returned. Well, we're starting to see a surge of EIDL scams all over again. So with that being said, in this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid these scams, as well as how to identify signs whether they are legit or they're scams, and also share some tips on how to actually get legitimate help to get your EIDL loan application, as well as your Paycheck Protection Program loan application in as well. So along with our videos, as well as other YouTube videos out there about the EIDL loan program, I'm starting to see more and more comments from what it looks like the SBA asking if people need help or not. Now, at first I was like, oh, that's nice. The SBA is going around asking people whether they need help with the application, or they just simply have questions that they can answer. Well, upon doing some research and digging around, of course, these are not real SBA representatives going around helping people. Now, most of them may actually end up being scammers. And this is something that I was really concerned when I started seeing more and more comments like this, not only on our videos, but also on some of the other videos actually giving people help with the information they need. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you some signs that you need to avoid to make sure that you don't get scammed. I wanna help you guys not get scammed, not lose money or any information that you guys may have. So pay attention to these signs. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you want the latest update to the stimulus program, EIDL loan program, or just simply making more money through real estate. So right out of the gate, number one is false representation of SBA representatives. Now, I mentioned this earlier, how YouTube channels or their social media profiles acting like the SBA, going around to ask whether they need help or not. Now, I'm not condemning the fact that people are reaching out and seeing if they need help or not, but it's really the intention behind these people soliciting help as well as solutions to applying for the EIDL loan program. Now, of course, the intention is that, they'll bait people in, take their information, or even scam them for money, and of course running and not actually giving them help for the SBA EIDL loan application. So when you see someone, whether it's on our own videos in the comments or someone else's videos, be sure you vet the person, ask questions, and make sure that they are legitimately a representative from the SBA. Chances are they're not. So do be careful when someone on social media that you've never met, they don't have a face, it's just a logo. Make sure you be careful when sharing information with them or even getting on a phone call, because you don't want to give out any personal information that you don't want to share. Number two is that if you are on a phone with someone that wants to help you with the SBA EIDL loan application, if they start asking you information like your social security number, your credit card number, or any other personal information too early, that's a pretty good sign that they are not an actual help. They're looking to scam you, take your information, and of course steal information so that they can sell it or whatever they want to do with it. So be careful about sharing your social security number. In fact, I generally say or suggest to people, never share your social security number with anybody, whether that's on the phone or Zoom, and make sure you validate that they are legitimately representing a company that wants to help you or you're doing a business with. So don't share your information. And if they start asking you information like social security number, EIN, run away, hang up, and contact your local authorities and get the law enforcement involved as well. Number three is that if they ask for any upfront fee and they don't disclose what those fees are, that's a pretty good red flag, and you should probably run and not take that help. Because a lot of times what they'll do is they charge you upfront fee and you'll never hear from them ever again. So they took your money and you try to contact them for the actual help and you don't get any help. So chances are that's a scammer. Don't go with them. So chances are anyone asking for an upfront fee and you don't really know what that upfront fee is, or it's a surprise and they're kind of mysterious about it, it's a red flag, and be cautious because it may end up being a scammer. One thing I do want to mention though is that there might be legitimate help that do ask for a fee, but a lot of times these fees are disclosed and they don't really ask for a fee up front. Instead, they are done on the back end after the service has been performed. And even so, it's not some kind of an outrageous fee, and I'll talk about how to get legitimate help at the end of this video, so do stick around because I'm going to share how to get the real help that you need to process your EIDL loan application or also your Paycheck Protection Program loan as well. Number four is that if your help is saying, hey, you should lie or you should skew any information, or maybe you change or fudge the numbers a little bit to make your application look good, chances are they are not a legitimate help and you should definitely run, cancel whatever service that you have with them, and you should not go with them. If they're saying, hey, listen, I know you didn't make $100,000 last year, but just put it down on the paper and pretend that you did. If they say anything like that, then they're not a legitimate help. Plus, it's not good because you're ultimately responsible for the accuracy on the application. So no lying. If they suggest any kind of dishonest behavior or dishonest information to report to the SBA, Not a good thing, and you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. So be careful with anyone saying, hey, you should lie or you should skew the numbers. Be careful with that. Number 5 is that if they point you to any website other than the actual SBA.gov website, then do be careful, because a lot of times these scammers will set up websites that look legit, but in fact, they are fake websites and they're just trying to collect information and get your credit card numbers or your social security numbers. So be careful. One way you can check to see if the website is legit or not is if it's not ending in .gov or .org, chances are they're not a legitimate company. And it could be a lawyer's office or accounting office that might be helping you. But generally, if they're not pointing you back to the SBA.gov for the ultimate resource, then that's a red flag. Additionally, another red flag is if you see that the website is not secured, meaning it's not using the HTTPS instead of HTTP, then most likely that company or organization may not be a legitimate help that you're going to want to have for the EIDL loan application. Number 6 is that if the individual helping you with the EIDL loan application is giving you any tax advice or legal advice without actually being an attorney or an accountant, that's a red flag, and I do suggest that you be careful working with this person. In fact, I may even suggest discontinue working with this person, because they should not be giving you any legal or tax advice if they're not an accountant or an attorney. Now, a good example might be that individual may say, hey, listen, in your next tax return, don't report it this way. They'll tell you report it in another way that might be contrary to what your accountant or your tax preparer may suggest. So if you run into those, do be careful. Even in our own YouTube channel, we disclose this quite a bit, and we mentioned this. Now, even in our own YouTube channel, we disclose the fact that I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant. Any information I share with you guys is just my own opinion and my own interpretations. But if the individual helping you is outright giving you tax or legal advice or directing you in certain ways, then that could be a red flag, and you should probably stay away from that help. Last but not least, if you smell something shady or if you're suspicious about the help that you're getting, then chances are it probably is. And the best advice I can give you for that is get a second opinion or contact your attorney or accountant to give you some kind of insight scoop on what you're doing. So overall, if you feel shady about something, then contact a second help, someone you trust and you know that they can give you good information about what you're doing. All right, guys, so those are some of the information or points that you should definitely watch out for in order not to get scammed or duped by someone that obviously has a malicious intent to harm you. Now, here's some of the information that I want to share as far as how to get legitimate help to get your EIDL loan or your free $10,000 grant that you desperately need for your business right now. Here are some of the help. But before we do, be sure to smash the like button, click the like button, and help us out with the YouTube algorithm. We would definitely like to help as many people as possible with the EIDL loan process. And if you thought that this is so far valuable, share it. Share it with other business owners, share it with your friends, share it with someone you love and trust, and you know that you don't want them getting scammed. So here are the best ways that I believe that you can get the help, the legitimate help that you need when it comes to the EIDL loan application. The first one being is to talk to a local licensed attorney or an accountant. Now, if you run a business, you should probably have an accountant or an attorney already that is helping you with your business. Now, if you don't have one, contact someone that's local, practicing law in your state. Make sure they're licensed and vet them. Right? It's kind of like marrying someone. I mean, it's not that extreme, but vet them, ask them questions, and ask whether they want to help you and want you as a client. So talk to an accountant, an attorney. I know I've been alluding this pretty much throughout the video. Talk to a professional who's licensed. Now, they could also be a financial counselor, or maybe they do represent the SBA that can actually help you with the EIDL loan process. But chances are the best help you're going to get is from an accountant who knows your number, who's done your bookkeeping, who has filed your taxes last year. Those are some of the individuals that you want your help from. You can trust those individuals. So contact your attorney, your accountant, bookkeeper, financial consultant. Those are some of the people that I would, trust when it comes to applying for the EIDL loan application. Also, before you actually submit your application to the SBA, you got to review what the application says, because ultimately you are responsible for the truthfulness and the accuracy of the information that you submit. So check to make sure that all the information is correct. Your address, your EIN number, the gross revenue, everything needs to be checked. All the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So make sure that the application is truthful. Number 3, if your accountant or your attorney is going to charge you any fees, make sure you know what those fees are, because you don't want any surprises and get billed and all of a sudden you realize, holy smokes, I don't have the money to pay for the help. So most legitimate accountants and attorneys may charge you a small fee. It isn't an EIDL loan. Yes, it's an SBA loan to get help. So the attorney may charge you a little bit of fee to give you the help you need. Number 4 is that if you disclose any information to your professional or someone helping you with the SBA EIDL loan application, also they need to understand that they have to protect your information at all costs. They can't just willy-nilly send your information or store it on an unlocked cabinet. There are laws that protect your rights as well as your information, such as credit information or any sensitive information about your business. So if your accountant or your attorney or anyone that's a professional helping you, if they're negligent about your information, then chances are you may have to go and find another attorney to help you out. An attorney that respects your rights and also respects your information, they're a good attorney. So make sure you talk to an attorney or accountant that clearly is doing those things to help you and protect you at the end of the day. Last but not least, don't be afraid to ask any questions. I know sometimes as adults, we want to act like we know it all. And I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I would say, I know about these things, so I don't need to learn or I don't need to ask questions. But that's my fallacy, right? We all need to ask questions. If you don't know anything, this is a very important decision. So ask questions, whether that's to your accountant, your attorney, or even the SBA representative you might be talking to over the phone. And of course, check to make sure that they are an actual SBA representative. So be honest, ask questions. If you don't know anything, there are no such thing as stupid questions. It's better that you know something up front than to find out later and you've made all kinds of mistakes and you're now having to pay for it. So those are all the tips I want to give you guys to get the legitimate help, as well as avoiding scams and all the evil people out there looking to take advantage of you. We don't want that happening. And of course, with the economy the way it is, we don't want businesses to go even more under with the fact that there are scammers trying to take advantage of people. I mean, come on, right? Seriously. So with that being said, hope this video was helpful. If you felt like this video was helpful, share it with someone you know who owns a business and hit the like button. Do subscribe if you want more information about the EIDL Loan Program. Again, I don't represent the SBA or any of the other government entity, but my passion is in helping business owners to help them make more money and get through this crazy times, right? This pandemic. 2020 was a wild ride. So hope this helped, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.